May we rise for the invocation? Mr. Arjona, can you lead us in the invocation, sir?
Yes, we can bow our heads. Heavenly Father, thank you for your many and abundant blessings. We thank you and ask you for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. In your name we pray always. Amen.
Please flag for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. May be seated.
Mayor, Commissioners, good evening. Today we have a presentation on departmental reports. We have the Police Department, the Fire Department, Department of Finance, Department of Utilities, and Municipal Court here ready, available if you should have any questions.
Mayor, if I may.
Go ahead, sir.
Chief, are we in?
We're moving in already.
We're moving in.
Yeah, so we should be operational Monday morning,
Monday morning.
first day.
Okay, good job. Next question I have for you, Chief, is I noticed that we have certain grants, and I know we've had issues with the cruisers. Is that funding available for extra patrol out there on Thursday?
Not for that particular
No?
enforcement. We have some officers working details on Thursday nights. And it's a continued effort by us. We're just trying to enforce as best as we can with the manpower that we have. None of the grants that we have apply to that particular enforcement,
Okay,
because they all have to have a nexus to enforcement of drug smuggling and drug trafficking and so forth.
now, the reason I'm asking is because I know that in March or April, we did have constables helping out, and I believe that we're using grant money to have patrol out there.
I need to clarify that. I think that they were working detail and they assisted us when we asked them. But I need to clarify. The last time I checked with my grant supervisor that handles that, it was not allowed, yeah.
It was not allowed? Okay. Well, let's see what we can do to beef it up out there.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Chief.
Chief, you mentioned about, you said Monday, right? Or,
Yes, Mayor, we're already in, all our staff is moving in. IT already finished with
so now are
computers.
you going to be fully staffed in reference to the new hires that you were
We-
able to get, or?
No, we still have the openings.
Oh, okay.
Our jailers start December 11th, which is
Okay.
Monday also.
Okay.
They should start already. And we already hired another dispatcher, so we only have about 3 slots, police officer slots that we need to fill out.
Thank you, sir.
Tirso Garza, just wanted to say thank you for, I know you or your department had some Thanksgiving dinners that were distributed during the
That's correct, Mayor
Thanksgiving
Pro
time. You and the volunteer staff, so tell them we say thanks on behalf of the city commission.
We'll let them know. Thank you, sir. Chief, one last question for you, sir. In reference to the Blue Santa, do we got a date on that, or the toys giveaways?
We work final date on it.
Okay,
with the
so you
schools.
haven't,
No.
Tentative date is the 23rd, Mayor,
23rd?
of December. Yes, sir, on a Saturday.
Because members of the community asked me, Chief, that's why I was concerned about.
Yes, I think that the other day was December 19th, so
Okay.
we're working on that.
Okay,
Yeah, but we get a definite date.
okay. Thank you so much, sir. Is there any other questions?
Mr., yes, he's here. For Mr. Gonzalez, Leroy. As far as the EDC financial reports, are we on target with those? Have we been issuing them out?
I issued them out through August because that's all we had gotten from the EDC.
Uh-huh.
We still need September's and October's.
September and October. Is there a tentative date when they'll be available?
As,
You're waiting?
we're waiting for information
them?
from EDC.
Thank you, Leo.
Any other questions?
If not, Mayor, if I may, I'd like to bring the Utilities Department for a presentation on the a status report on the water treatment plant.
Sure.
Good evening, Mayor. There's Mr. Mark Ramirez from Cruz Hogan will be doing the update and the status on the water treatment plant for y'all this evening.
Mark?
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. To provide an update on the water treatment plant project, contractor's still working out there. They're moving forward. There's been a lot of slow progress, but nonetheless, things seem to be coming forward now. The project is still, at this point, scheduled to be completed on June of next year. I talked to the contractor this morning, and that timeline does not seem to change as of now. So they're sticking to that timeline for the meantime. But they're doing the best they can. They're trying to move forward. I don't know if anybody has been out there yet, but they've started to take down some of the existing components of the plant, of the existing plant. The cleric cones have now out of operation. They're doing some maintenance work on those. And as soon as they're able to put those back in service, they'll put those in. The filters, they're looking at that component of the plant now to start taking it down, trying to fix some of those components that might need some work on them. The new filters also would be looking to put those in service. The new cleric cones are already in service as we speak. Everything's moving forward at this point. I don't know if the commission has any questions.
What percentage of the project if it's done?
I'm sorry?
What percentage of the project are we at?
It's approximately 5% complete. We assume that the existing rehab of the existing work, it's about approximately 20 to 25% of the scope. So the new components are pretty much in. Any questions?
Are you guys still meeting? How often do you guys meet?
We
What-
meet once a month. Actually, we have the next monthly meeting tomorrow morning. So we've been having good progress meetings out there. Actually, at the last meeting, we did have the representatives from the bonding company, the surety, be present at that meeting. We had a good dialogue with them to express their concerns, the city's concerns, on getting this project completed on time, and they were very receptive to that. They're letting us know that their intentions are staying here and completing the project.
So that June date's not concrete, pretty much. We just gotta, play it by ear and go.
To some degree, yes. Their position to us is that they're gonna try to make sure that that date doesn't move any forward, past that timeline. They're trying their best to see if there's anywhere that they can go back and cut time to maybe bring that date closer. But yeah, a lot of things can happen. Once you go into the existing components, anything can happen at that point.
Is there anyone there representing, in y'all's meetings as far as in the Water Development Board? Anybody?
Yes, at every meeting, a representative from the Texas Water Development Board that's present.
Okay, and what's the name?
Mr. Juan Santana?
Is that the gentleman from Harlingen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, good. All righty. Any other questions? Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
Thank
Thank you, sir.
The next item, Mayor Commissioners, is appointments. Consider appointment of election judges and early voting clerks for the upcoming special election to be held on January the 20th, 2018. I'll ask that we take no action since we don't have a listing of the available personnel. We have yet to get that list, so we'll put it on a later meeting, hopefully on the next meeting, Mayor.
So when you say available personnel, Mr. Hona, what are you referencing?
I'm looking at the judges that, to be judging the election, so we don't have a listing yet. We placed it in there, so hoping that we'll get a listing from the county, from here, but we have yet to get that.
Do we have early voting dates?
It's on the, on your packet.
It's in there?
I show here January 3rd, starts early vote, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. 2018.
Oh, that wasn't this addition to, that was in the folder?
Well, this is what's in my pack. I don't,
Yeah?
Resolution that we'll be talking about in
January
a few
3rd
minutes.
all the way to the
So the
16th,
16th?
Yes.
except the 14th? Exactly, okay.
Does staff have this information?
I want to say that our staff,
Yes.
yes, Diana Cavazos has it.
Okay. Because there was a call made and apparently they didn't know the dates.
No, we had it.
that one's gonna be tabled? Do we
Yes,
need a
no
motion,
action.
or do we-
We can table it for the next meeting.
Do you need a motion to table?
Yes.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion, it's been tabled.
The next item on the public hearing is conduct a public hearing, consider adoption of an ordinance in the first reading for a conditional use permit for a car wash facility in the Expressway Corridor District EC in a tract of land containing 0.911 of 1 acre out of lot 13, Block 5, John Clausen subdivision located along the north side of IH2, approximately 1/2 a mile east of Veterans Boulevard, is requested by Meldon and Hunt Incorporated. Mr. Cervantes.
Yes, Mayor, good evening. Texas National Bank is applying for a conditional use permit to construct a car wash facility, which is the Blue Wave Car Wash along the new Expressway Corridor District. The request was a result of the amendment to the ordinance to allow this type of business along the expressway. The proposed hours of operation are during the summer from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. and winter from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Notices went out to the surrounding property owners, and we received no comments in favor or against the request. Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval unanimously during their September 21 meeting.
I'm going to go ahead and open this up to the public at 6:11 PM. Is there anyone here for or against? For or against?
Good evening. Yes. My decision is to be against it still, and in reference, I will turn to September 26th regular meeting in which Mayor Garza said the following. The issue I have is we open this up and amend this. We having more car washes down the corridor is something that I don't know if I'm too thrilled about, because anyone can just come in. But I do like the idea of the Blue Wave with Chick-fil-A, as Commissioner Maldonado was talking about. But my opinion, I personally think we should maybe table this item for the simple reason that have legal really research this and see whether if we do amend it just for that specific area and nothing down the road. See, we don't know that, and the only way we can do this is if she goes or her firm goes and research it. The following meeting was on October 10th to conduct a public hearing and consider the ordinance in first reading for the amendment of Appendix A, which staff comment and recommended additional language to be added to the ordinance. The additional language and requirements were Section 11.13. There should be 10,000 linear foot minimum separation between car wash facilities for properties within frontage along IH2, US Expressway 83. The distance be measured by direct line from the corner of one property to the corner of another property. To that follow-up was Mr. Cervantes, who said, so if the ordinance is approved and if Blue Wave comes in as they're proposing, based on the additional language that we put in the ordinance, that one would be the only one allowed along the expressway. Clarify, only one allowed, no other. Commissioner Garcia followed by saying, legal counsel is there. The attorney present that day, it's different than the one present today. I want to point that out. That was the section he's amending is applicable to the expressway corridor, so where he put the distance requirement, it's within the section. Commissioner Garcia said, it's good for that section, but somebody else wants to come in. Is that allowed too? To restrict those other people from being in the expressway? The attorney said, you can do distance requirements in zoning. Later, to conclude that meeting, Mayor Garza said, let me just clarify why I ended up tabling this item. Because I just wanted to make sure to see whether we were able to put some kind of restriction along the corridor when in reference to car washes. Obviously, legal came back and said you can. But now I'm assuming in the future, we can come back and look at it again, To that I say, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. Like in reference to this example. You put it in a type of business pertaining to car washes. Limited in this amendment to only one, no other after that. Now I remind you, if this instance would have been backwards and we were talking about this for the car dealerships, saying one type of business limiting only one car dealership or one restaurant along the expressway corridor, what would have happened? A lot of businesses would have lined up in front of EDC and demanded to be changed, correct? Now, the added language was 10,000 linear feet. Does anybody of you know how much that distance eats or where it puts a business that wants to come in? 10,000 feet sends you all the way approximately to Erling Street or Nolana, north. And south, it sends you 10,000 feet from Ridge Road. That's if you want to have a car wash similar to the one who is going to be possibly allowed if the permit goes through. And that's defined under your following voting. But I say you cannot manipulate the ordinance like I said on my previous meeting, where I stated that if you do manipulate this meeting, you're basically playing with ordinance as you see fit. Well, to that I say, if you do manipulate the free market as we have it, free market is only good if you allow it to be. There's competition. Every business here, and I'm sure some of you have had a business before, and you're only as good as your product is, or as your customer service is. Isn't that right? You compete every single day to bring money to the table, to pay your taxes, to pay your workers. But if you, as government, changes how that perspective works, you're giving a handout to this business. You're putting them in that place and no competition to be allowed. No future competition. So that means that business will probably succeed based on that they will have no competition. If this is to be going through, will that set up something for future businesses? They will turn around and say, we can't go to San Juan. They're messing with the free market. They're limiting based on what they like, what kind of business they like. And I don't think you should mess with the free market. It's there for a reason, to allow everybody to compete. And if another business was to come in, let them come in, or don't allow none of them at all. That's fair. Thank you.
Anyone else here for or against? Can you state your name for the record, sir?
Yes, sir. Mario Reyes, Northern Hunt, for the record, Mayor, City Commissioners, thank you again for having me.
Thank you, sir.
Couple things. We have complied with everything that staff has stipulated on the conditional use permit. So the way we have it submitted, we are in compliance. There has been some new development since I brought this to you. The bank is going to break ground the second quarter of 2018, and it's going to be a bank with a strip center, so we'll have a retail component. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Not working.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Anyone else for or against?
My name is Ms. Reyes. I am for it. Like I said before, we need something like this. It will do good for San Juan. I know there's a lot of people that are against it, but there's a lot of people that are for it. The younger generation will be for it. Us, the old ones, need to kind of step back. And that's all I have to say is I hope he does, and I'm for it.
Thank you, ma'am. Any questions from the member of the commission? If not, I'm going to go ahead and close this at 6:18 p.m. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
One against.
So the vote is 3-1. Mr. Garcia against. Thank you, sir.
Next item is consider adoption of an ordinance in the first reading for the voluntary annexation of a 10.22 acre tract of land out of the lot 100 acres of Los Torritos Grant located along the south side of Sam Houston Avenue, approximately a quarter of a mile east of Stewart Road, as requested by Ronnie Cantu Construction, LLC.
Yes, the planning department is processing a 38-lot residential subdivision along the south side of Sam Houston Avenue, approximately 1/4 of a mile east of Stewart Road. That should be completed by March or April of 2018. The subdivision went before the City Commission for preliminary and final plat approval during your September 12, 2017 meeting. The proposed subdivision is just outside the city limits within the city's ETJ. To help simplify the process and to comply with the city subdivision requirements, the developer is requesting annexation of the property to the city of San Juan. The annexation of the subdivision will increase the city's tax base, since the homes that will be constructed at the site will generate additional property taxes for the community, along with additional water, sewer, and garbage revenues.
Any questions for Mr. Cervantes at this time? No? Okay, if not, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
The construction resolutions, consider authorizing city manager to request statements of qualifications from consulting firms for the preparation of a comprehensive land use plan and an update to the Parks Master Plan. Cervantes.
Yes, funding is in the budget to start this. The completion of this plan, which will involve extensive public involvement, will allow the city commission to make sound decisions on zoning changes that are based on an adopted land use plan. The plan will also give the city of San Juan a vision for the future. The update of the Parks Master Plan will allow the city of San Juan also to pursue grants for park improvements.
Is there any questions for Mr. Cervantes at this
How
time?
old is the current?
We don't have one,
We don't have one?
no.
I thought I had seen one posted online.
Not a comprehensive
Is that a comprehensive?
plan. We have a Parks,
We have a business plan.
No,
That was-
Parks and Rec.
we have a Parks and
Oh,
Rec that needs
yes.
to be updated.
We have a Parks Master Plan, we have a Utilities Master Plan, a Drainage Master Plan, but we don't have a land use
A
master
land
plan.
use. So that's the difference. Okay.
And zoning is supposed to be based on a land use master plan. We have zoning, but we don't have a land use plan, so we're not in compliance. So we're trying to be in compliance with state law.
Any other questions? If not, is there a motion to approve? Is there a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
The next item is consider an amendment of resolution issue in order of notice of a special, of city special election to correct the statement of applications by mail to be sent to city secretary instead of Hidalgo County. As we recall, the last time that we issued this resolution, it was that the county was going to be taking care of this. Now, however, because now the city's taking over, then the mailings, instead of going to the county, it'll be coming down to the city for counting. So that's the amendment that we're doing on the resolution.
Questions for Mr. Arjona? If not, is there a motion to approve?
Moved.
Is there a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you.
On the next item on the consent agenda, Mayor Commissioners, I'm asking approval on the listing consent items. Please note that the commission can always discuss any items on the consent section as needed in order to make an adequate decision.
Is there anything we need to pull out or amend in reference to the consent agenda at this time? Any members of the commission?
No minutes at this meeting?
Sorry, sir?
No meetings were available?
Meetings?
I mean, minutes, I'm sorry.
No,
None?
not on this meeting, sir.
You know how far behind we're on the minutes?
I'm not really sure, but I can find that out.
Thank you.
Not, is there a motion to approve? Is there a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Under discussion and possible elections on all the following matters, we have discussion and possible action to authorize staff to purchase 2 split case pumps from the buy board vendor Odessa Pumps from Midland, Texas, 79711-0429. The buy board contract number 509-16 for the total amount of $41,575. The raw water pump is at $18,280, and the high service pump is $23,295. I have here Mr. Salinas. The reason we did this is because if we do it separately, not coming before the commission, it'll be a split purchase, which we didn't want to do, so we're bringing it before you all as a 2 items, but one amount that exceeds the $25,000. So, Mr. Salinas?
Good evening, Mayor Commissioner. Staff solicited quotes from 3 different firms, 2 who were actually buy board members and 1 who said they were on the buy board, but once research was done, they did not have a buy board contract number, but we still accepted the quote. Right now, we're requesting permission to purchase the 2 pumps from Odessa Pumps, the lowest buy board bidder. And it's coming from the surplus money from the old 2007 bond issuance.
Right behind the city hall?
Correct. This is for water plant number 1, which is the oldest of the 2 facilities, the one located right behind City Hall.
2007 bond, it was the bond.
Yes, there's actually some surplus money from the 2007 bond, 2000 14 bond. The 2007 bond will cover these. And in fact, we have the bond council urging that we spend it because we've exceeded the timeline that we had required to spend the bond. So he's been on me to try to get it used up because it should have been done a while back.
Is there any other questions for Mr. Salim? If not, is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item, discussion and possible election, if any, on setting city commission meetings days for December 2017. Mayor Commission, historically, there's always been only one meeting during the December month. If we were to have the two meetings, it'll fall on the 26th, which it'll be a holiday for the city. But it's your call, we make a special call on a different date or just have one meeting like historically we've always done in the past.
You said it falls on December 26th, right? Yes. Okay. Is the city off on that day? Or?
Yes.
You guys are
It's a
off?
holiday.
Okay.
Monday, no?
It's a Tuesday.
Tuesday?
Tuesday. So I know in the past, for the month of December, we've always just had one meeting, right?
The first meeting.
The first, yeah, okay. And I guess, I mean, if we need to have some kind of,
Special call, we can
yeah,
always
then we
call
can
it.
just come back and get a hold of the,
Yes.
okay. So I make a motion that we have one meeting for the month of December, which is, what's that date?
The 12th?
The 12th. That's in a motion. Is there a second? Second by Coach Neto Guajardo. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Next item, executive session. The San Juan City Commission will convene into closed session pursuant to the provision of the Chapter 551, Subchapter D, exceptions to requirements that meetings be open, Texas Government Code 550.071, consultation with attorney, and Texas Government Code 551.072, deliberation regarding real property as follows. Discussion and possible action regarding the purchase, exchange, lease, transfer, or value of real property, Track 003 pursuant to Texas Code 551.072, deliberation about real property, and 551.071, consultation with attorney.
Is there a motion to go into executive session?
So move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We will be going in executive session at 6:27 PM. there a motion to reconvene?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
City Commission will reconvene open session, take necessary action, if any, in accordance with the Chapter 551, Open Meetings, Subchapter E. This is regarding the purchase, exchange, lease, transfer value of real property, Track 003.
So move. We was discussing executive session.
Is that in the motion, sir?
Yeah.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
This meeting has been adjourned at 6:46 PM. Thank you.